been amazing, but it's like now he's just getting a little old, so now who's the new Bruce Campbell? I don't know, I gotta think about it.
Were you a collector at all? Did you do any of that stuff?
I collected a lot of stuff. I mean, I collected a lot of comic books. I loved, the movie that made me want to make movies was Scanners. When I saw Scanners in a movie theater. That's how not only weird and old I am. But I saw that in a movie theater when Michael Ironside made that guy's head explode. I was like, whatever, I want to do that, whatever that is. And so I started as a kid. Like, originally I wanted to be Tom Savini or Rick Baker. Like, I started to learn how to do makeup special effects, and I'd make my own scars and blood and have like pus protruding out of my cheek, and I'd run in the kitchen and be like, and my mom would be like, oh my God, no, it's nothing. Until like one day when I really hurt myself, and I'm like, and I'm like, no, I need to go to the hospital. That's really what I really wanted to do as a kid, was to make special effects, and then I realized you could actually go to college to learn how to make movies, and it kind of put me on a different path.
So this has been something you kind of wanted to do for a long time, then?
Ever since I was a kid, all I ever wanted to do was make movies, And my parents were awesome. My parents took me to see movies that parents would never take their kids to see today. Like, it was the 70s, it was fine. You took kids to Jaws. You took kids to The Exorcist. Yeah, it was fine. I was like 5 or 6 and in The Exorcist. And my parents were like, here, here's some popcorn. And just like, fuck me. My dad's just like,
I just saw that guy snap a picture at just the right time. That shit's going on YouTube.
That's going on Twitter.
That was the Q&A. It got weird.
He got all Twittered up there.
But for this, I imagine, that you have a ton of different movies, possibilities going around your head at all times. Things that you're maybe gonna make, but why this one?
I loved going to comic book conventions, for years. I'd gone to ones in New York and in Los Angeles, and even in my home state where I grew up in West Virginia, which is absolutely nothing like Comic-Con. But I always wanted to go to San Diego Comic-Con, and about 5 years ago I got called from Fox by The Simpsons to make the 20th anniversary special for Fox for The Simpsons. And the minute they called and I got that job, I was like, we're going to Comic-Con. I was like, we have to go. And so we went there with the whole idea of going there to cast Simpsons superfans. And so we had these kind of American Idol-esque auditions for people who'd come in and kind of profess their loves for all things Homer and Marge. And it was great. These people were coming in all day long talking about how much they love The Simpsons. And then this guy comes in about midway through the second day that we were auditioning people, and he is painted head to toe in red liquid latex. With, literally his whole head, his whole body, painted over his body with a little skivvy that's obviously also been painted over. He was naked. Somebody painted the time, and so he's like, I love Homer Simpson. You don't understand how much I love Homer. He had these fake teeth in that had blood coming off of them, and I was like, hold on a second. Tell me about all this. And he was like, I'm Carnage, and Carnage. I was like, oh no, I know Carnage. It's I get it. And he's like, yeah. I said, so how did this all happen? He's like, yeah, this morning, my wife, she painted the latex all over me, and then she and the kids drove me here and dropped me off. They don't really get it. And at that moment, I was like, this is a movie. That's a different. This is a movie right here. And then it was amazing. Later that night, I met Stanley, who had been an idol of mine ever since I was a kid. Reading his comic books. This is a guy who, as a kid, was one of the people who was really instrumental in giving me the courage to want to tell my own stories, to write my own stories. I wrote my own comics as a kid, with my terrible drawings, and it was all they were terrible looking. But so I met him, and I went up and said, Mr. Lee, thank you so much. You got to understand, what you meant to me as a kid growing up. He's like, oh my God, Morgan, thank you. It's very nice of you to say. Well, you know what? We should work together. We should make a movie together. We should make a documentary. We should make a documentary about Comic-Con. And which I'm sure he's probably said to every other person who walked up to him who makes movies. He's like, Edgar Wright, we should make a movie together. But I'm the one who took it to heart. I was like, oh my God, it's great to meet you, Mr. Lee. Thank you so much. And then I turn around, and Peter Michelli, who is he's an agent at CAA, a big giant of a man, 6'5", 6'6". He's standing 10 feet away, and he's like, so how was it meeting Stan? I was like, it was amazing. Stan and I want to make a movie together. We want to make a movie about Comic-Con. And he's like, that's a great idea. He goes, you should meet my other client who's coming into town tomorrow. Cut to tomorrow as we were having breakfast with Joss Whedon to say, and by that point we'd actually flushed out what a movie about Comic-Con would be, where it said, we're going to follow different people into Comic-Con, tell the story through their experiences, and we pitched it to Joss, and Joss is like, I'm in. And so from there, I called up a friend of mine who I had met, who was on the board of directors, kind of the board of trustees of Comic-Con. I said, where are you? I said, I want to come find you right now. So I met Stan on Saturday. I had breakfast with Joss Whedon on Sunday. Or, I'm sorry, it was Friday, Saturday. So now Saturday afternoon, I call my friend, where are you? So I go find him at Comic-Con. I tell him the whole thing. I was like, Stan's in, Joss said, here's the movie we want to make. And he said, he's been working now as a volunteer for Comic-Con for about 24 years at this point. And he said, I've been here for over 2 decades. And every year, somebody has come forward saying, we want to make this film. We want to tell the story of Comic-Con. And he goes, and every year, we've said no. And he goes, but this time, it just might work. And it did. It was amazing. First time ever they've allowed a film crew to tell the story.
Wow. In the process of it, so you shot the following year.
So we shot it the following year.
And did you just, like, all of the interviews, the way you set up the interviews, was like the dude from Hung just walking around barefoot? Like, what, like, is that like, hey, come in?
Like, hadn't been to bed. Like, he came downstairs, like, he'd been partying all night. We interviewed him like 9:30 in the morning. He's like, all right, let's do the interview. I'm ready.
Right. But was
no shoes. Like that really, he had no shoes on.
So they were just really good. They were just, that was just like, those are the people.
Those are the people, like, we didn't do second interviews anywhere else. Like, everything we got at Comic-Con is everything that's in the film. You know, we had a site set up at the Marriott where we did all of, like, the fan interviews. We had a site set up at the Hard Rock Hotel where we did all of, like, the celebrity and, like, people who work in the comic book industry interviews. And then we had crews following around all of our characters, and we had 10 different crews that were following people around. So we had 10 different cameras running all the time. We had anywhere from 5 to 7 cameras that were shooting B-roll, and then we had a producer within each of those crews that could also pick up a second camera. So at any given time, there could have been 27 cameras rolling over the course of the 4 days, because you only have one time to shoot. You have one chance to shoot it. And it was the biggest crew I've ever worked with in my life. The film had a crew of 150 people. Wow. You know, that were there working over the 4 days. And then we had, we made a companion book that we had photographers that were there taking pictures, where we had another 25 people. So we had a crew of 175 people total making the movie.
Yeah, when dude sprints off for his...
Where he comes running in, like when he came running in, we had a camera position right in there. We had an NSFW 9000, which is an HD camera that can actually, overcrank and shoot in slow motion. We had the camera there because we knew where he was coming in. And I was like, we've already watched all the footage, we'd seen all his interviews, and I was like, he's gonna run. He's gonna come, he's gonna run. We were there, inside the door where we knew he was coming, as he comes sprinting through. And like literally that night, we reviewed footage every single night. I said, I just want to see him come running in the door. Please tell me we got it. And we found that shot, and I was like, yes! It's like when you have those little moments, it's amazing.
And then the woman behind him, that was like,
it was quite fast enough. We love them all.
And there's some members of the cast.
I want to bring up. First off, I want to bring up the amazing and fantastic designer from our movie. Let's hear for Holly Conrad, who's here in the audience. I will hold your weapon. You need help? Don't go losing a cod piece or anything. Let's hear it for Holly, everybody. Probably my favorite person in the film is Columbia, Missouri's own Mr. Skip Harvey. Let's hear it for Skip. His awesome mom and dad who created the Star Trek conventions are here in the front row. Let's hear it for them.
That picture is amazing.
You guys made an awesome kid. And your brother's here too. And he wore a costume. No, he didn't. Thanks for coming. Thanks to everybody for being here. So
yeah, let's open it up for some questions for the audience. I'm sure
for anyone.
People have
anybody who has a question. You can either come down front or you can use your outside voice.
There's one right there.
This guy's coming down.
And if there aren't going to be any proposals, please just...
I was just wondering, how did everyone get chosen for the film? Like, was it just...
It's a great question. Like, we sent out mass emails through comic book shops, through con mailing lists, through other cons that, gave us access to their mailing list. Because San Diego Comic-Con wouldn't let us mail out through their own mailing list, so we literally had to go to everyone else. We had to do a reel around the